As a current or past college student, many of us can relate during our academic careers to have taken the tax tests, ACTs, or SATs. Remember those pressures of having to do well in the tests, or else we wouldn't move on a grade or have a successful future in college? The New York Times recently ran an editorial arguing how standardized testing is the only way to really measure student success and teacher effectiveness. However, in response to the editorial, I disagree and feel that standardized tests bring three major results: health risks, lack of motivation, and negative biases. According to the author Alfie Kahn, an American author and lecturer on education, he clearly states that standardized tests do not value creativity, imagination, conceptual thinking, effort, good judgment, ethical reflection, or a host of other valuable dispositions and attributes. There is a danger when schools focus too much attention on test preparation at the expense of high-quality classroom instruction. These tests measure the performance on not only students, but schools. If teachers do not meet standards and have their students passing or reaching a certain goal, they are looked down upon, and that can lead to stress and a high risk of failure for many schools. Stress is defined as the body's general response to physical, emotional, or mental demand. For example, a student's reaction to studying for the SATs to meet the score of their desired college can create this type of stress, anxiety, and lack of motivation. In addition to the stress standardized testing brings to teachers and students, this can lead to sleep deprivation, irregular eating habits, and a low immune system. Have you ever crammed for a test the night before and then realized you had no idea what the test was about, but just remember only studying for the information for that one test? This is a common skill used by many students to avoid hours of studying during the semester. And according to study results, teachers are put under great pressure as well as the students to improve test scores, and they are more driven to focus on test content, to emphasize test preparation in their instructional programs. When students think that test preparation matters more, they tend to blow off the actual coursework and get stressed. And when students stress to make good grades, they end up losing valuable knowledge when the tests are done and over with. And lastly, why should a student's academic career be based on tests? If they do well in their classes, but do poorly from a major standardized test, this will not make them feel good about themselves. Schools and teachers require their students to spend enormous amounts of time in class preparing how to take tests. And as a result, this will make them less and less likely for their students to do well in the tests. Standardized tests should be re-evaluated because it is unfair for the state to decide what knowledge is. The educational system relies on standardized tests solely for the purposes of funding and to keep up with the competition of high scores. According to Rebecca Zwick, author of Rethinking the SAT, The Future of Standardized Testing in University Admissions, the SATs send a confusing message to teachers, students, and schools. Why should students be tested on material that is unrelated to what they study in their classes, and then the grades that they achieve can be devalued by a test that is not even part of their school curriculum? Ultimately, these tests that depend on our future limit us to showing our full potential and are basically judging us on our memory skills. This factor is an unfair advantage because some students comprehend memory skills different than others. In conclusion, students do not benefit from learning general test-taking skills or become familiar with a certain test they're about to take. It is clear that the negative effects outweigh the benefits. Education should not be based on money, but to better our future generations. Hopefully the government will do away with the strict rules of standardized testing and realize the harmful effects it has on our students.